We now go to New York and CBS News Chief Medical Correspondent Jon LaPook. Jon, let me continue this conversation about healthcare workers. You have talked to the nurse and to her parents. What are you learning from them?
Morning, Charlie. You know, I understand there's a debate on the one side, and we've heard that about whether or not there should be mandatory quarantine. But what I'm learning from them is that on the other side, there should be no debate about whether we treat returning healthcare workers who are there heroically with compassion and with respect. And I spoke to Casey Hickox this morning, her parents last night, and there's really two phases here. One is in the airport, she felt that she really was not treated with respect. In fact, she said at one point she felt like she was being treated like a criminal. She didn't know what was going on. She was not aware of where she was going to go. Several hours went by. She was hungry. They finally gave her a little bit of food. And then she went to the hospital in Newark, University Hospital in Newark. And there it changed a little bit. She was put into a tent. She said the personnel really, for the most part, the nurses and the doctors were terrific and very compassionate. But still now on the second phase, she went into sort of not knowing what was going on. She was in sort of some cold scrubs for a couple of days. She didn't get her clothes. She wasn't able to take a shower, still hasn't been able to take a shower. She has a little scrub, little basin that she was able to give herself a sponge bath with. There is a bathroom there, a little sort of a porta potty with a little curtain for privacy. But her big question is, what's going to happen next? And she spoke to an assistant commissioner who called her, and she said, what's next? And really, she wasn't given an answer. So she's sort of in limbo. What she wants to do is go back home and be with her loved ones.
And does she believe, and has she said, that it would be a deterrent for her if she knew she faced a quarantine coming back from Africa?
I asked her about that, Charlie. You know, what are the repercussions? I said. She said, I think wisely, I'm right in the middle of it right now, and I need a few days to really think about that. But then she added, she did think that it could be a deterrent to people to going over there, because after all, you're going over there heroically, really, to try to save people on the other side of the ocean, and putting yourself at danger, and then on top of that, to have to worry about coming back and put in quarantine. I actually wrote down something she said. I said, you know, were you scared, and what was the hardest part being over there with the protective equipment? She said, the PPE wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part is watching people separated from their family, sick and scared. So this is somebody who's truly compassionate. She just went over there to help people. Her parents are beside themselves being so far away and not being able to do something for their daughter.
For the record, do you think more and more people are raising concerns about the quarantine because it is not coming from science, but from an effort to make sure that there's not too much fear and panic?
I think, you know, Dr. Fauci really addressed that very well. I think what's important is that when you're talking about doing a quarantine, it seems like that audibles are being called. It's being done on the fly, and this is something that has to be thought out. So she ended up being taken to a place that she said only one other person had ever been in that tent, and there was no television, not that that's so crucial, no books, no ability to have access to a good computer network. She did send me some pictures on her iPhone. But you know, these things have to be thought out and logistically think, okay, these are people who are doing the work that needs to be done, because in order to stop it from coming over here, we've got to get rid of it in West Africa. They're coming back here. How are we going to treat them? Are we going to treat them with respect and the dignity that they deserve?
Thank you, Jon. Dr. Jon LaPook.